What's up, people? I am Brian Reveals, one of the producers of Steal the Movie. I am here with Richard Duryea, the director of Steal the Movie. How
Hi,
you
welcome.
doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. I am so excited to be here to have this conversation with you. This has been an incredible project, and happy to be a part of it with our cast and crew. Everybody, can we hear something in the background?
They're all in the back.
Absolutely. So, Richard, let's just get into it. Tell us a little bit about the backstory. What was your inspiration for coming up with the film?
So the inspiration for coming up with the film was, film has always been my passion. It's been what I've been wanting to do since I was like fourth grade. And so, I got my first camera when I was in junior high, and then started making a bunch of short films. And then come the fall of 2007, so I was a senior in high school at the time, and that's when I finally decided to, like, you know what? The Spokane's got this 48-hour film festival. Let's go ahead and do this. And oh my gosh, it was a disaster.
Wow.
So I wanted to do a drama. All the other cast and crew wanted to do a comedy, so we compromised and made a romance. And that was after 12 hours of trying to do writing throughout the whole night, because I guess the reason why we did it that way is because we're the only other group projects we've done are like school-based science project where everyone has an equal voice.
Absolutely.
So, and that quickly learned that that's not how things are supposed to work on films. So yeah, that project was a complete disaster. But I always put that in the back of my mind is like, oh man, that was a complete disaster. And so when it came to writing Steal the Movie, because working on a bunch of awful projects throughout my career, just low budget horror films and such, and I'm just going, oh my gosh, we're borderline breaking the law here. And then when I was in college, that's when I wrote the first draft of Steal the Movie. It was originally intended to be a 10-page short, beginning to end. That's what it was. And then I was working on a film called It's Only 30 Minutes, and I don't think they ever finished the project. But the general premise of that film was they were trying to get Mickey Rourke into this film.
Wow.
And so all the cast are like, oh yeah, Mickey Rourke is going to be here.
Yeah.
Because apparently the director had a conversation with Mickey Rourke about this crazy no-budget comedy, and then Mickey said, yeah, I'll do your film, but I'm only going to give you 30 minutes of my time. And so the whole film is about trying to only spend 30 minutes of Mickey's time. And so throughout the whole film, all the characters are constantly referencing Mickey Rourke. And then we're like halfway through filming, and the director goes, maybe not say his name so much because we're not sure if we can get him. And I'm like, we're spending all this time and money on a project where we don't know if we're going to get Mickey Rourke. And I'm like, why don't you call him something else, like, I don't know, Alex Stars? That sounds like the name of a celebrity, and that's the character that Connor plays in the film. So I'm just like, all right, we're going to add that to the short, and then I go off and make a few other films. And then this little thing called COVID-19 happened. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's kind of this big mystery, kind of on the fringes of society.
Right.
Anyways, so that takes me out of Los Angeles. I go to Oregon.
Yeah.
Do some jobs in manufacturing. It's all just... So all my film stuff kind of just got put on the back burner for a while. And then I ended up getting a job out here in Texas. So, I do internal video projects for a corporation. So... but anyway, so I'm like, well, now I'm back in a big city where I can, finally, get some of my artistic creativity back out there. And so I found the DFA, Dallas Filmmaker Alliance, through Meetup. And so then the kickoff happened last year, and I'm like, well, let me take out this old project. And also when I was in Oregon, I expanded it out to like a 30-page project. And then some other associates were like, yeah, you're going to have a hard time funding a 30-minute short film because it's about making a short film. So I thought at the time that having it be a short film would be the best way to do it.
Right.
And then I went, well, let's see what happens if I expand this out to a feature. And before I know it, I had like 200 pages. I actually had to cut quite a bit out. And it's been... But now we've got the feature screenplay done. We've got the short film that has been done through the DFA last year. and we have entered it into festivals. You know, you, me, and Katie have
Right.
been sending it off to festivals. We're at the Austin Comedy Film Festival. I'm
Yeah,
so
Me
excited.
too. So let's talk about the process, right, with DFA, because originally the process was, each script, right? There was a read, and just me hearing the table read, if you will. We're just gonna simplify it for everyone out there, but the table read for me was, I'm like, okay, this is one of the two options that I could actually utilize to put my grit, my work, my efforts into a project. Because actually, speaking of DFA, when I came across this project, this was my first time even being a part of DFA, right? This was my first visit. So to hear your script during the pitch and to hear someone else's script during the pitch, happy to be selected on yours, and also the role that I have as an actor.
Yeah. You picked the character who has no lines.
I know. I know. I will say that as an actor, challenging myself is just a part of what we do and a part of what this project has allowed me to do and be. One of the things that I appreciate about just say, okay, well, let me just pick this particular character, not knowing very much about it. I remember the conversation that I had with you about, okay, so tell me about this character. Tell me about how I can frame what I'm supposed to bring to this character. And when you told me, and we just spoke about this, the character is basically an ex-con.
Yes, he is.
With who's an arson.
Yep.
And also he's deaf.
You have a deaf sound guy.
He's hearing impaired. So I'm like, okay, well, at least I don't have to remember. That's the first thing.
Right.
At least I don't have to remember lines.
Yep.
But the other thing that I had to, okay, well, not remembering lines is one thing, but also remembering signage was something that I had to learn, which I have to say that I think this gave me the opportunity to kind of do something that pushed me out of my, comfort zone, because I didn't know anything about that. And that was one thing, but I think the other thing was the pink shorts.
That was just a Star Wars reference, but yeah, the character the character is it's largely a heist film, and so if you're looking at Ocean's 11 or any great heist film, all the characters have their own little quirks, and so I'm like, okay, sound guy, what's his quirk gonna be? He's deaf. Great, perfect. Moving on.
Right, right, absolutely.
And then just have him be an ex-con, because there's always somebody in the crew who's an ex-con, and so I'm like, let's just have it be the sound guy. I'm like, what was he in jail for? And then I was playing around with a couple different ideas, and I just went, arson's the funniest for some reason.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with that, because in the feature-length script, the first time you meet him, he's getting paroled, and then he leaves behind. He catches the room on fire. The room behind him starts smoking up. So I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay. So he hasn't learned his lesson at all.
At all. And that was funny. That was funny, because we actually brought that into the short, where there was an opportunity for me to just like, okay, chill, or my character to just chill.
Oh, the montage scene.
Right, exactly, the montage scene. So when the funny part was when the other actress that's in the film, when she and I were kind of rehearsing that scene.
Oh, she didn't want to hit you
She
at all.
didn't want to hit me. I was like, if you don't slap the shit out of me. And she was, like, I don't want to do it. Like, hit me.
Yeah.
Bam. And I don't think she still went in. I really wanted her to knock the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But she was very careful, and
She is the nicest person.
She is. She is. I think she was worried about putting a claim on my insurance, because I probably could have. She probably could have knocked me through that wall. But yeah.
But what was the biggest challenge for you as a producer for this film?
I think one of the things that I think with any film is to be able to pull off something that feels like a bigger budget, but for a very, very limited shoestring budget. And for me, just working within those constraints, I think we did a really good job being inventive. Definitely the location. Shout out to There's No Place Like Home.
Yeah, there's No Place Like Home, and Jay Douglas for finding the place.
Exactly.
Jay called every single furniture store in town to figure out. And then I think he narrowed it down to like 4 or 5 for me to check out.
Yeah.
We had one initially, and then they decided to say no for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Absolutely.
But the place we got, the No Place Like Home Furniture in downtown Fort Worth, beautiful location, lots
Beautiful
of very
furniture.
expensive. So the
Beautiful.
reason why the scene takes place in a furniture store was also when I was writing the first draft, there was a soap opera that was shot guerrilla style inside of an IKEA. So I don't remember what the name of it was, but that's like its one claim to fame is like, we shot this soap opera
Right.
guerrilla style inside of an active IKEA.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm like, that's creative.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was the offshoot for the idea for that was like, if you need a set, like go to where the furniture is.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. And not to mention, I thought that the furniture place, just in terms of like the aesthetic, it really brought a sense of enhanced production value because that was some really pricey furniture.
yeah.
I
think 2000 was the cheapest thing there.
Yeah, we saw like a chair for like $1,500, and I'm like, okay, don't sit on it.
Sit on the
But
apple
yeah,
boxes, everybody.
exactly.
I know they're not comfortable, but don't sit on the house furniture.
Absolutely. I think that, kind of just working within those confines really made this project feel so much bigger, right, than the budget that we had to work with. But I think that for me, when the cast and the crew is exceptional to work with, we find a way to make things happen. And I think that, for me, that made it worth overlooking the challenge, is that we all get along so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just shooting it all in one night. A
Yeah.
5-page scene shot in 12 hours.
Yeah.
And that's load in and load out. So
Yeah.
and that's always a challenge, especially for an overnight shoot. But I know from like my personal experience and all the free jobs that I've done,
Yeah.
it's like you can get one day out of people, but asking them to do multiple days for free, that's a huge ask.
Absolutely.
So I'm just like, 2 days would probably be the most beneficial for the project, but for everybody's sanity, I think the budget for the whole thing was maybe $500.
I think 500 to 750. So
right,
yeah,
and then half
right.
of that was food for everybody. So,
First of all, shout out to your wife because
Oh,
she's an
my wife.
amazing cook.
well, yeah, she made tacos for
I'm
everybody.
still like, okay, I wish I would have froze some.
Well, you got to come over. You just got to come over.
I will. But the cookies, oh my God, that's a whole different podcast. But yes. So just kind of looking at like what the food and some of those expenses. Do you think that, just speaking of just the industry now, right? Just kind of because I think that this film is an opportunity to really show investors, right, what can be done, right, when you get the right team together, when you get the right creative strategies together. When we think about right now, the biggest hurdle right now for a lot of filmmakers is the budget, and we were able to pull something off like this and then have it be a part of so many different film festivals. What do you think this film has been able to show you in terms of any lessons that will be helpful, right, as it relates to what we can share with other filmmakers with the success that we've had?
In terms of like tips and tricks?
Yeah.
Ooh. So, well, it never hurts to ask. So, with Jay, he could have quit after 10 places that said no.
Yeah.
He called at least 50. I don't know exactly how many are in the DFW area, but he called them all. So just that absolute tenacity of he was so passionate about this project, and he just loves finding locations for people. And so yeah, it's just the sheer like I've been like this project has been in the back of my brain since 2007. So it's been a very long time coming forward. And I'm very proud of the feature-length script, and I hope that we get to meet the investors to make this film into an actual reality. It is a comedy film. It is full of heart and wonderful characters, and I cannot wait to see this hopefully on the big screen one day. So
We will. Absolutely.
That's the hope and the dream.
Yeah. So if we just in closing, what would you want the audience to know about this film, right? in addition to, investors or anyone who really wants to be a part of making sure that this film does make it to the big screen?
So, in terms of like the style of comedy, it's more of like a situational kind. It's not heavy on like references or poop jokes or anything like that. I would say aiming for like I'd say like Ghostbusters was a big influence for me in terms of like the style of comedy, anyways. So. It's fun for the whole family. I would say rating wise, it'd probably be somewhere in the PG-13 area. So there's nothing really raunchy going on. It's just pure chaos, and it's just that's the kind of style of humor that I really enjoy, and it's been absolutely a fun ride working with you and everyone else on this project, and I believe that it has some. I believe that it has some legs. It's got some serious potential.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we cannot wait for you to see this film. Please go and check out Steal the Movie's YouTube page, our Instagram page, all over our socials, #StealTheMovie, and we cannot wait to bring this film to you in a theater near you. Follow us, share our work, and make sure you stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.